last girl. I'm not so terrified now. I've had a couple of drinks, so I think this will go over well. My story starts with a bit of a prologue. When I was about 6 years old, we got color television for the first time, when color television was kind of a new thing, which I know dates me a bit, but it's kind of magic, huh? You wouldn't guess. And color television was a very big thing for me, because I was so little and there were so many things coming on, and all these shows, and all these crazy colors and things, and the one that really stuck out for me was the Green Babe on Star Trek. Yes, I watched it. I didn't know what Star Trek was about. I thought it was like something related to the Apollo program, which made it make less sense. And I didn't even see the episode with the Green Babe in it. They just had this picture of her, 5 seconds every week on the closing credits. She's all green in this skimpy outfit and dancing, and I am like, what is her story? Because I'm young, I don't know there's no such thing as green people. Color television is telling me there are. And I just fall in love with her. And there were a lot of TV shows out of the 60s that had these crazy sort of edgy fetish things that impacted me, obviously. But, the Green Babe was special. And it was special because it was very sexy to me, and it was also kind of weird because I didn't hear about anybody else being into the Green Babe. And there weren't, there was no internet, obviously, but there weren't even magazines for this stuff. And I'm like, okay, does this just mean that there's something wrong with me? So I carried this deep, dark secret about the Green Babe with me until I was in my mid-30s, and I moved to San Francisco and got some perspective on what's fucked up and peculiar. I was having this long-distance relationship with a woman in Vancouver, which involved a lot of true confession emails. And I tell her about the Green Babe thing, and she's like, get some body paint. Next time I'm down, we'll do that. And we did. And it was really nice. It was really sweet. We painted each other green, and I took some pictures of her, and we played around. And that was great. And I was like, wow, I've arrived. But then a little while later, a friend of mine sees one of the pictures, and she's like, would you paint me green? And I'm like, okay. And I do that, and someone sees those pictures, and very long story, kind of short, in a little while, I am like this body paint and fetish photographer. And my friends are calling me up, and their friends are calling me up, and I'm painting women blue and purple and silver and green and gold with spots and stripes and patterns and pony girls and kitty girls and angel. It's amazing. It's like ice cream had always been free, but I never knew how to ask. So then in 2004, I had my first show, which is awesome. And while the show's up, I get an email from this woman who says she wants to talk about modeling, so we meet for coffee. Her name is Katie. She's very cute, little petite thing. Kind of fine features on an oval face, thick black hair. She's got these half-moon silent movie queen eyes that drive me crazy. And she's really sweet. She tells me that she's done some modeling. She's just ending things with her wife of 6 years and wants some distraction. And I'll be the first to admit that my gaydar sucks. But she says the thing about the wife, and I'm like, I think you're gay. Which is cool, because I love lesbians. I really want to be a lesbian. And in fact, I want to be the kind of lesbian she is, like really smart and artsy and hot and self-contained and everything. So we decided to do a shoot. It's actually a couple weeks later. I need an extra Green Babe, because I'm doing Jumbo Green Babes. And she comes, and the body painting process is like the best part, because it takes an hour or two to get somebody another color. And it's very intimate in this way. It's sort of like sex, because they're naked. I'm not. And I'm like up close with this sponge dabbing. There's all these great conversations, and this is no exception. We're talking about, she tells me about how she studied art, and now she's working on being a therapist, and she manages a crisis hotline, and she tells me the story of this really great tattoo she has that's like this fetish lesbian Alice in Wonderland scene around her thigh, and I just want to take a Sharpie and draw myself in. And I tell her about me and the Green Babes and how crazy that's gone, and the fact that I like dressing up, and you know, I dress up and go to bars sometimes and flirt with boys, and sometimes I play with boys and aren't boys silly, and it's all very nice. But I gotta confess, on top of the bad gaydar, I'm just slow on the uptake. And there's two things I'm not realizing. One is that she's not gay, she's bisexual, which means, you know, it's not about the plumbing, it's just about the attraction. And B, she kind of likes me. And so she's being all flirty, her eyes are a little dilated, she's laughing at all my jokes and everything, and I'm thinking, oh, the lesbian seems to find me interesting. Maybe validating. So, we do the shoot. It's very nice. We get some fun stuff. Nothing happens. We stay in touch, kick ideas back and forth for a while. It's close to 3 years later before the next time we decided to do a shoot together. And this time we decided to do super heroin bondage photography, because who doesn't like that? So she comes to my apartment. I paint her this periwinkle blue, and she's got a silver bikini and go-go boots and elbow gloves, and we get this long blonde wig and this cape that's short enough to show her butt. It's very cute. We line her eyes more, so she's got that Perils of Pauline thing. And I originally wanted to shoot the playground across the street from my apartment, but it's full of fucking children. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to shoot in here. And we set some stuff up. I tie her up and put her in the shower with one of those cloth gags that are silly, because nobody can gag somebody with a cloth gag, but they look great. And then I chain her up in my living room where I've got all these, because I'm a photographer, eyeballs in my living room. So, you know, she's chained up like that. And then we take a break, and I'm like, you know, I've got this Catwoman suit I could put on. We could take some timer shots together. And she's like, yes, put on your Catwoman suit. So I go and I put it on, and I come back out, and I chain her back up, and she's all helpless, and I set the camera up, set the timer, and she's all like, oh, and I'm running on the And it's going really well, and I'm changing it up, and on one of them I come in and do like this Clark Gable, Vivian Leigh thing, where our noses are almost touching and we're looking at each other's eyes, and the camera goes click, and I steal a kiss. And then I walk to the camera to reset it, and I am like, fuck, that was not cool. I've just invited this lesbian I hardly know to my apartment for a photo shoot, painted her blue, chained her up, set up the camera, put on a Catwoman suit, and made a pass at her. My actions could be seriously misconstrued.
Oh my.
She doesn't seem upset. She seems okay. She kind of kissed me back, maybe, but obviously I've crossed a line, and I have to be very careful. So I think harder than I have ever thought in my life about what to do. And I say, why don't we take somewhere you have me chained up? And she's like, okay. So I unchain her, and I show her the camera set up, and she chains me up, and now I'm all like, oh, I'm so helpless. And she's like coming in, going, and we get 3 pictures. And then suddenly, I'm in the living room of my apartment in this Catwoman suit, chained up, and this incredibly hot blue babe in a silver bikini who I thought was gay starts kissing on me. Like, crazy lots of kissing. Like, I am so happy to be kissing you, kissing. Like, makes me feel like the best kisser ever. She's like rubbing and grinding, and she gets blue all over my cat suit. And we end up with like these purple clown smiles. and she unchains me, and we make out some more, and this is where the story, you know, you'd hope it would get good, but it's a true story. And what happens next is she stops, and she goes, I'm sorry, my life is really complicated right now, and I just can't be doing this. I'm really sorry. And I'm like, okay. And, you know, we make out a little more, and she goes into the shower, and I help scrub the blue paint off her beautiful, beautiful body, and we kiss goodbye, and she leaves. Dramatic pause. A couple days later, she calls me up. Turns out she left my apartment, went to the apartment of this person that her friends, her therapist, and her mother had been encouraging her to dump for months, and dumped him. And now it's not complicated, what I like to get together, and we get together, meet at her apartment, within 4 minutes, fuck like monkeys for about an hour, go out to dinner, and it's really nice, the conversation's good, and we actually start going out together for a while. And it's really nice, we're happy and everything, but after a while, we both realize, well, this isn't the kind of relationship we really want. So we got married. And I know the story was supposed to be about envy, but here's the thing. I took my secret childhood fetish obsession and turned it into this whole fucking artistic paradigm where I am like painting and taking sexy pictures of all these incredible women, and in the course of that I meet this beautiful woman and fall in love with her, and she falls in love with me, and she thinks guys in lipstick are just the bomb, and we get married, and now I am up here on stage in a Catwoman suit in front of a paid audience talking about my life, and you're not.